I can't believe I haven't formally introduced you to Marisa. This is my 2020 Genuine Buddy Kick. I've had her for 2 years now, and it's time to chat with you guys about some thoughts on her. So I named her based on her color, turquoise, ocean inspired, and according to the all-knowing internet, when you look up names, it had something to do with the ocean, which totally captures this scooter's vibe. So when I went down to buy this scooter, I had 3 in mind. There was the Genuine Buddy 170cc, the Kymco Like 150i, and then this Genuine Buddy Kick 125cc. Coincidentally, dealership in Houston, Scooter Smith, had all 3 in stock so I could sit with them and try them out, and came home with this Buddy Kick. So I'm Renee, and this is my first scooter and first foray into something with a motor on 2 wheels. So you can totally look up specs for this scooter online, but what I'm going to talk about is how I use it and why I decided on this one and how it's meeting those needs 2 years in. When I decided that I wanted to try out a scooter, I was doing a lot of bike commuting. It's 8 miles to work, but for a safer route around Houston, I ended up driving 11 to 13 miles for the best route, and I thought, let me look into this whole scooter thing. So primary was getting to and from work in an economical way that didn't have me dependent on a car. So at the time, after doing a bunch of research, I knew I wanted something in that 150cc-ish range. I wanted electronic fuel injection because I could see where there'd be periods of my life where I might not ride it every day. And I really wanted a classic Italian design. It's what kind of made me get over the fear factor of jumping on what was essentially a motorcycle. And something about that cute piddle around kind of vibe was like really what was getting me there. So I really wanted to make sure I stuck with styling like this. I also wanted to have decent brakes, didn't want the disc drum combo, would prefer to have something with ABS, and I didn't want to spend too much money. Again, the Vespa would have been fabulous, but at the time I was terrified, and I couldn't see myself paying for a Vespa in that price point because I was scared I wouldn't even overcome this hurdle of riding. So 2 years later, here we are. But at the time, I definitely didn't want to spend that kind of money on something I wasn't 100% sure about. I've clearly gotten more comfortable riding a scooter at this point, and so I really do use this scooter. I'm pretty much a fair weather rider, but I do ride it to work and get caught up, in some occasional rainstorms, and I do ride when it's cold outside, but I have my limits. But if I don't have to tote the kid around and the weather is pretty fair, I'm on the scooter. I also have to preface that with I do run a household, and if I have heavy grocery day, like let's say preparing for a hurricane and needing bottles of water, I don't take the scooter, but if I can just do the standard whatever we need around the house, I do use the scooter. So what I love about this scooter, glove compartment. So I've got 2 years more of experience. I've been shopping for other scooters, and I have another one in the garage, story for another day, but most scooters do not have a little glove compartment, and so they do have something that you can open and close like a more traditional car glove compartment, but I really like that this just has this open thing I can throw my phone in and my wallet, so when I get off I just grab the things and go. I really like it. I also like that it has a cup holder, and I know that sounds silly, but I really do. That said, do not get it full to the top and then throw it on there. Put a stopper, make sure it's not all the way to the top. Marisa is currently wearing a blonde roast with a splash of coconut milk this morning. And I like the built-in security features. I had no idea when I first started looking into scooters, but literally I've heard stories where people will pick them up, well, maybe a couple guys, I guess, and put them in the back of a van and it's gone. And I'm like, so layering security is like scooter security 101. That said, having some features built in is a little reassurance to your layer. So it's got a key lock, it's got a kill switch basically on the inside of the underseat storage box, and then there's the one on the handlebar, those more traditional. So I just like that it's just another layer, so if some jerk's gonna run off on my scooter, that I don't make it easy on them. And this scooter is really zippy. It's so fun, it's nimble, it's all of that. And so those with the higher CCs generally aren't as nimble and zippy feeling. Of course, 2-stroke has that super power underneath it, but when you're in this 4-stroke range but it's such a small scooter, and it was more zip than I really expected from it. So it's really a joy to ride. And I can't forget the reliability of the scooter. I've had 0 issues. I've done standard maintenance. I actually do my own gear oil changes, that kind of stuff. And it's easy. It's been totally reliable. I've had 0 issues so far. I do make sure that if I'm not going to ride it for a period of time that I do close it up and things like that. But this scooter has given me 0 grief so far, so gets the 5 stars for that reliability component. And while this one might seem small, I really like the helmet post and the underseat storage. And again, it comes from that place like where I compare other scooters at this point. But when I put my full face helmet onto that D-ring, it's really easy and smooth operation. And that's not always true for some scooters. And I 100% believe that this is the best scooter for shorter riders. I am 5'6", and this 29 seat height basically means that my feet are planted firmly on both sides of the scooter when I'm at a stoplight. And when I was fearful of riding initially, that just made me feel like I had a little extra control, but it felt small, it felt compact, and it felt like something I could manage on the road. So it just gave me a peace of mind, if that makes sense. Before I dive into the things that I don't like about the scooter, don't hesitate to leave a comment below with any questions that you have, because I'm giving you my perspective. But if you're trying to question whether this scooter is right for you, by all means, I'd love to help you out if it gets you on the road with 2 wheels. All right, what I don't like, the blinkers. I know it's a Department of Transportation kind of setup, but at some point I will turn on the ones that came from genuine scooters. But in the meantime, I just, cosmetic, don't like it. And this scooter has 10-inch wheels, and what that means is it's kind of a bumpier ride. So it's not to say it's uncomfortable, but you can definitely tell when you're on a poorer quality road or what have you, more so with a smaller tire size. And I didn't know at the time that smaller tires are more prone to locking up. And it kind of makes me wish that it had the anti-lock with the ABS braking system a little bit more, knowing that. So I've used the ABS once on another scooter, so it's more of a peace of mind thing than something that's caused me problems, but I also don't want to be put in the position to not need it and it not be there either. So I do not ride this one if there's a chance of rain, whereas the other one I might risk it a little bit more, if that makes sense. And the underseat storage box is quite small. I do use this scooter for grocery shopping for the family of 4, so it's not insane when I throw in a backpack and then an additional bag on the back of the rack here. But I cannot fit my full face helmet in the underseat storage box and close the top, and I really wish I could. I can throw it on the helmet post. I also have a top box I can throw on if I need some sort of storage that I'm planning for. But in general, it is something like I really wish it had a little more space in the underseat storage box for the helmet at least. And now, would I buy this scooter again? No. This is a fantastic scooter that I do love riding, but watch this video to understand what I think is the biggest mistake I made when I bought it, so that maybe you don't make the same mistake in your scooter buying journey.